Hello, I'm Lloyd and welcome to the Fisherman's News, where I bring you the latest news and gossip from the carp fishing world. Coming up on tonight's show, big news coming out of the Cotswolds, and Miles Gibson has caught his target fish, the croc, and I delve into some of the other big carp catchers from around the country. We caught up with Fish Legal outside court after their landmark win against the government. I showcase some of the new products and also new content that's coming from some of the biggest names in the industry. I hope you're ready for a few laughs with the Fisherman's fails. And last but not least, we have got your catch reports that you've been sending in this month. First up in the headline news, Miles Gibson has caught his target fish, the croc, at £43 12 ounce, only 3 days into his spring campaign, as he does. Not only did he catch the croc, which is considered one of the best carp in the country, but he also caught another 12 fish, including the lake's biggest common and the other big mirror, known as the male, at £43 10 ounces. Nice one, Miles, for making me look an absolute mug. For those of you that don't know, I actually fished for that carp and eventually caught it, but it took me a damn sight longer than that. But Miles being Miles, he made it look stupidly easy, but trust me, for us mere mortals, it definitely isn't. He's just another level. Sticky HQ confirmed that there won't be a film made on this capture, as it would only be around 2 minutes long. Well done, Miles, mate. Next up, Nathan Jackson has had an absolute tear up on Birch Lake in Lincoln, landing 15 fish in total, topped by the big mirror at £60 8 ounces. What an unbelievable session that is, especially after he'd already landed the lake's biggest common the previous spring at £61 8. He told me that originally he'd only booked a week session and only caught 2 fish, but then he saw a change in the weather come in and the full moon and decided to book another week. Trust me, he's glad he did, because it went off and he landed 13 fish that second week. I think we can all agree definitely that was the right decision to make, mate. Nath caught all his fish on mainline cell boilers and matching up baits. A last minute submission from Sam Jones just had to make the headline news with this epic creature known as the birthmark mirror from the Mets. He also managed 3 other mirrors this trip, a 33, a 30 and a 20. He landed the birthmark at £42 12 ounces and just about managed to get some great shots before dark. And I, for one, certainly glad you did, mate. The winning method was a test bait from Sticky, and he was on a 3-night session using matching up baits on hinge rigs. Some big carp news in now from Tom Stokes, who kicked off his spring campaign in style by landing one of his main targets, which was the incredible £43 8 ounce mirror from a 70-acre ski lake in Reading. He was fishing at stream ranges at around 300 yards and towed 2 rigs into a 7-foot gully between 2 shallow plateaus, which he had pre-baited the previous week. Before long, the weather turned in his favour, and around midday, battle commenced, and what a battle it sounded. He said hell broke loose when the line ended up getting caught around a submerged tree around 100 yards out. He had to take to the boat and get things sorted, and I'm betty glad he did too. What a way to kick things off this spring, eh? Bait-wise, he was using 14mm tooty and blackcurrant pop-ups over the new nut bait from Oxford Carp Baits. He was using a bit of corn and a bit of rock salt. Also, there was a slight hint and rumour of a quarter film on the horizon about this, and probably more captures to come, no doubt. So watch this space, as I'm sure this won't be the last carp of Tom Spring. Keep them coming, mate. And the last standout story that needs a quick mention is John Cash, who is fishing over at Dinton's Black Swan Lake and landed the epic Owls linear at £43, adding to his tally of amazing fish from the complex, and ticks one off the list of them big linears he's after right now. I think we can all agree that's a very serious carp, and best of luck to John in your pursuit of them 2 big linears that remain. If I don't catch them first, that is. For those that don't know, that's where I'm fishing this spring, and there's a 50 and 60 pound linear in that lake, both of which we're trying to catch. There's every chance that big one could be very, very big, dare I say British record big, as it was last out in June last year at £65 12 ounces and hasn't been caught since. So the stakes are high, very high. Let's just hope that John doesn't have to take a few weeks off with the flu anytime soon. Now the section you have all been waiting for, which is the Fisherman's Fails. Thanks to all of you that have been sending in all your favourite funny fishing moments. I'm sure that most people watching have experienced many over the years, whether that be falling over, slipping in the lake, opening spoms behind you and much more. Oh, and trust me, there is much more. So many things going on in these videos that I didn't even know could happen at fishing. So let's roll camera. First up, I thought I might give you a quick example of what a fisherman's fails looks like. That's yours truly, having a little swim. What an idiot. What's going on here? Yeah, she fell over. What's he done there? Oh, he's made a right mess of the old tackle box. No way. Ooh, that's a bit of a swamp. Oh, you're asking for trouble, mate. Oh, he's cut his leg. Oh, God. Oh, but he got the fish. Oh, I can smell trouble here. Oh, his handles have come off. Oh, how's your rod? So I hope they're not snapped, mate. Ooh. Oh, I've been there, mate. Oh, he's took himself to A&E. Got himself repaired up. Oh, he's got himself a fish as well. Happy days. Oh, my days. Look at that wind. Fair play for him being out there in that. Wow. Oh no. Look at the leaves. No way. It's in the UK. It's like something in America. I thought it's going to bomb him over. Oh. Oh, fair play, mate. Oh, and he got one. Now, imagine this, having a bite, and something like this pops up in front of you. Bait boat! That's been on the bottom for a while by the looks of it. Mark said, if you got the remote, he wants it. This guy's found a right little edge. Sat down spomming, I'll have some of that. Oh. Oh, don't worry, mate. We've all been there, It happens. You're not on your own. You're definitely on your own now, it doesn't happen twice. Here we go. Bobby May casting for the horizon, apparently. Oh, the legs come off. In this section, it's going to be you guys at home doing the voting for the winner. You'll notice that there was numbers in the top corner of each video, so whichever one you think was the funniest, just stick that in the comment section, and the number with the most votes on next month's show will win the prize. Once again, thanks for all the videos that you've been sending in, and definitely keep them coming. If you've got a funny video, and that can be from any amount of time ago, these don't have to be up to date like the catch reports do, please just get them sent in. It's the same number, send it over on WhatsApp, and if you can and your phone allows, press the HD button and send them over. First up, Fox International has launched their very first podcast, which is called the Always Carp Fishing Podcast. This will air fortnightly and features Ian Chilcott, Harry Cheriton, Lewis Porter, Scott Day and Dean Watson. Their first couple of episodes are already out over on their YouTube channel, and the latest one they are discussing unpopular opinions. It's also worth mentioning that they will be featuring special guests coming onto the show from outside the Fox family. It's available on their YouTube channel, as I said, but also it's available as a podcast on platforms such as Apple and Spotify. And here's a little sneak preview of what to expect.
So they got more conversions because they changed the mechanics of the rig than they did because they had a sharpened hook against a non-sharpened. So, like I say, I haven't seen evidence. Now, in theory, it makes sense to me that you would catch more chances with a sharpened hook. I just haven't seen evidence. Evidence that I know from working with Rob Hughes for many years is the weight of the lead makes a massive difference. Once you get to 4 ounces or above, he can't lift the lead off the bottom with his, if he puts the rig into his finger, as soon as he gets to 4 ounces, that hook is being pulled into his finger with a non-sharpened hook. So for me,
something a bit different now. News from the Angling Trust that Pickering Fishery Association and Fish Legal won a landmark legal battle against the government over the health of the Costa Beck River near Pickering. The government lost an appeal against the High Court ruling that it had failed to adequately protect and restore the river ecosystem. The High Court found that the government's management plan for the river was insufficient, and the groups argued the fish populations had declined due to pollution. This now sets a precedent for the government to implement specific, targeted measures to improve the health of individual water bodies across the country. Or, in layman's terms, the rivers are really dirty and it's the government's fault. But now they're going to have to do something about it, which is positive news, if it happens. Well done to Fish Legal. At least somebody is doing something about it. Here's what Penny from Fish Legal had to say outside court.
The government and the Environment Agency appealed the High Court ruling that we won, and today we've got an outcome which says that they agree with us entirely. They agree with the High Court decision that the government's river basin management plans and their plans for rivers nationwide are defective and need to be completely redone. I mean, it's fantastic for us. It's so satisfying to know that we have worked with this club, looked at the problems that they have on the river, found the legal tool that we could use to force the government and the Environment Agency to take action. Very, very satisfying for us, very satisfying for our club. We've broken the news to them now. They're delighted, and we just hope that this is a turning point, not just for the Costa Beck, which is the river that we were focusing on, but also for rivers across the country.
A couple of clothing product drops now. It is that time of year where we like to spend a bit of money on summer clothing. Firstly, Nash Tackle are set to launch their new ZT Light clothing range on the 5th of May, which is an addition to their ZT winter range, now making it 4 seasons. For those of you that don't know, their ZT range packs inside itself, obviously making it real small and lightweight to carry. And then secondly, Fortis have also dropping some lightweight summer clothing, which is a trail hoodie and pants. It's really lightweight material, but the biggest thing to point out is the pants zip off into shorts, making it a 2-in-1 product and getting some airflow going when we need it the most on them hot days, lads. Big news coming out of Sticky Baits HQ with loads more films due to hit our screens this summer, including one from Terry Earn, which will be his Sticky Baits film debut. There's also plenty of other great films on the horizon, I'm told, and we managed to grab a sneak peek of one which is coming across to our screens very soon. It features Miles Gibson and a film they've called The Road North, which is Miles typically being Miles. Basically, he's caught everything local to him in the northwest and most of the fish down south, so now he fancied going up to the Scottish border, as you do. Here's a little sneak peek.
I've not fished many lakes whilst they're actively being hunted, and obviously they've still got a feed, but their windows are so short.
There ain't loads in here, Barry, but a couple of big ones.
They were sort of all losing character. A carp of £40 in that area, you know, it's just phenomenal. Everything absolutely so right to trim and level.
And last but not least in the trade news, obviously I had to get a little plug in here somewhere, and I've started a social event with my brother and good friend Chris from the events industry called The Fish and Show. It's a social event that allows people to fish for 48 hours and enjoy some evening entertainment at the same time. The first weekend event is set for the 27th to the 29th of June at Linear Fisheries, where we've got Hardwick and Smith, Brasenose 1 and Brasenose 2 all booked out exclusively. This is on the back of Linear's 2-week maintenance shutdown, so we're hoping there's going to be plenty of action as the fish wouldn't have been fished for a good while. On top of this, we've got some known faces that are going to be there for the whole weekend, not only myself, Tom Maker and Rob Burgess, but we've also got a special guest who is Arsenal and England ex-goalkeeper David Seaman. The entertainment will be both nights in a large marquee on the Hardwick car park, where everyone will get together, where our caterers will be putting on food, and we've got Q&As and carpy quizzes and all that sort of thing, but these are followed up by the main events. We've got Neil Spooner doing a slideshow on the Friday, and then we've got Alan Blair doing a slideshow on the Saturday evening. So both evenings, there's plenty going on, and of course there's a bar for a few drinks to enjoy with like-minded people from all over the country, and maybe a little bit of light music afterwards. All the lads will be walking around all weekend, giving you in-swim tuition if that's what you want. We've also got 2 professional photographers and videographers, Daniel Wildboar and Bradley Walker, who will be there on hand to catch the full event on video and of course take any special capture shots. But also, if you're looking to scratch up on your own photography, etc., then these guys are the ones to ask. If you want more information on how to get booked on, then visit the website or scan the QR code which is on the screen now. Prices are £325 a single swim and £600 for a double, but you've got to use 2 rods in a double swim. Lastly, of course, there's plenty of prizes to be won. Whoever catches the biggest carp of the weekend from each lake will get their ticket money back. So that's 3 people all going to walk away having got the weekend for free. And the second prize pool is something we've called the Most Wanted. We've selected 1 recognisable fish from each lake, and if you catch this fish, you're going to win yourself a £500 tackle bundle. Now it's time for the Super 6, and this is the section where I take all your catch reports that have been getting sent in and narrow it down to just a few, and that's not an easy job, as I'm sure you can imagine. First up is the adult section, followed by the juniors, and I've narrowed it down to about 10 catch reports for each section, and every one of these guys and girls that you see are going to receive a merch bundle from myself. But I have selected a top 3 from each section as my Super 6, which will win the main prizes. Don't worry if you don't feature in these pictures for the prizes, as everyone who is sent in a catch report will feature in the end of the show. All of this week's prizes are bundles from Fox, Sticky Baits, Fish with Carl, Fortis, Thinking Anglers, Nash Bait, Jag, Pro Light Explorer and Sipography. Wow, that was a mouthful. So in third place of the adult section is Hannah. Honestly, as soon as I saw this picture, I knew it was going to make the top 3. Not only is it a great carp, but the picture itself was just mega. You've got the little one there in his PJs, loving life. And if you haven't spotted it already, he's holding a little puppy there who's called Ness. This was in fact Nessie's first fishing trip and the first carp she had ever seen, but I'm sure it won't be her last. Let's hope. Hannah caught all her fish on bright ones mounted on hinge rigs. Great spring tactics right there. Well done, Hannah, and you've won yourself the third prize bundle. In second place is Jonah with his 33-pound linear, and if that wasn't enough, he backed it up the following session with these 37 and 38 pounders. They are some mega carp. What caught my eye about this capture was the story. He told me that he saw a fish show in a quiet little corner of the lake around about 80 yards. So a little while later, he threw out his marker rod and found a spot, and then just throwing sticks around about 60 baits around it. That's something you rarely see these days, and it's definitely a great bit of angling, mate. Fair play. He was again using bright ones on hinges. 14mm mulgs did the trick for him. I'm definitely starting to see a common theme here and a great way to catch carp in the spring. Well done on them captures, Jonah, mate. They are some special carp and a great bit of angling, so you've won yourself the second prize bundle. Now, last but not least in the adult section, in first place just had to be this fish sent in from Liam. As soon as I saw it, I knew it was going to take some beating, especially after I read the story behind it too. Now, it goes without saying these fish are absolute worldies, but when he told me he caught them on a pretty much untouched water, it sounded pretty dreamy. I'm still waiting for the pin as well, please, mate. He also went on to tell me that when he did turn up, his battery had died in his boat, so he then had to roll the rigs out. And from personal experience, that is definitely not easy, especially when you're going out long range like he was. The weights are pretty much irrelevant when they look like this, but the common was the biggest at 36.10, and that naughty linear was 32 pounds 12 ounces. He backed it up with some other mega fish as well. He caught them all on blowback rigs, fished over a scattering of hemp, tigers and Royal Marine boilies from Baitworks. Well done, Liam. Honestly, I think that fish is going to take some beating this season and probably your lifetime, and that's why you've won yourself the main prize. Now onto the junior section, and I am telling you now, this was not an easy job. I just wanted to give everyone prizes, but after a hard selection process, I did manage to get it down to around about 10 again, and like I said with the adult section, all of these guys and girls you're seeing now are going to win at least a merch bundle from myself. But there has to be some winners, so let's go. In third place, it's Bobby, who was out on a 3-nighter on Conningbrook, and on his first morning caught his PB in the shape of the friendly common at 34 pound. He then went on to catch the swan common the very next morning at 39 pound 12 ounces, which again was another PB. He backed those up on his last morning with a 37 pounder, and I'm pretty sure we can all agree that is 3 great mornings fishing for Bobby. He was using D-rigs over sticky baits krill, fished with white tappers, snowman style. For all that, mate, you have won third prize bundle. Well done. Now in second place is Tallulah, who fished alongside her dad on a Parker Bait social over at Linear Fisheries on Brasenose 1. She was fishing around about 20 wraps using Parker Bait's 12mm pineapples over particle, chopped worm and corn, and was rewarded with a PB common and mirror at 35 and 36 pound. But not only that, she caught a PB ghost carp as well at 33 pound 8 ounce, which is now a new lake record ghosty as well. 3 PBs in one session is unreal. Her and her dad caught 20 carp between them, and that won them the trophy for the most carp caught. And at the same time, Tallulah showed all the lads how it's done, and for that, you've won yourself the second prize junior bundle. Now, In first place is 11-year-old Ralphie, who again caught his PB comment and mirror in the same session too. What is going on here? Absolute madness. He was fishing over on Ladywell Lakes in Hollandbury on a 48-hour session with his dad and caught his first PB, which was a 34-pound 8-ounce common within an hour of being at the lake. He said that it all went quiet, so he went off and did a bit of stalking while left dad in the swim. He came back a few hours later to no avail, but got the rods back out on the spot, and within half an hour the rod was away with his PB mirror of 32 pound. It seems like resting the swim definitely paid off for you there, mate. He was using Corda DF combi rigs, CC More live system, pink NS1 pop-ups as a snowman presentation. That's a great story right there, Ralphie, and that's definitely a great pair of PBs you've got yourself. And you've also got yourself first prize tackle bundle in the junior section. Well done, mate. Now, there is one more prize left to give out, and that's for a special mention to 90-year-old Bill. This catch report was sent in by his grandson Sean, who pointed out the fact that his granddad still gets out every weekend without fail and has done his whole life. He also told me that he even made the time to go during the Second World War. If that's not dedication, I don't know what is. I'm sure lots of us can relate to a granddad or a dad or any adult taking us and teaching us when we were younger. And that's exactly what Bill has done for Sean, who is now 35. Bill started teaching Sean and his brothers how to fish when he was just 4, and they still get out together to this day. That's great parenting right there, and that goes to anyone watching this. This is a big shout out to all those parents or friends of family or any adults that take the time to get kids out fishing, teaching, encouraging what we all love to do. Really, it is great to see. Bill, you are an inspiration to us all, and you've got yourself a Fish with Carl logbook and cap. Now, I understand if you don't want to replace your lucky cap, I'm sure Carl won't be too offended, but I know you can make use of that notebook for all those special captures and stories you have. And just to finish on that, Sean's told me that him and his brothers are taking their granddad down to the river on June 16th, so hopefully there's going to be more news to follow from Bill. And of course I had to include a few of our boys overseas, and no, I don't mean the military, I mean these guys. I mean, look at that one. That is something different from France for sure. Craig there with a big old French PB, 64 pounder. And again, another scaly one from France. Great picture that as well. And this is young Colby, love this one. He's actually from Belgium and he got this one from a canal. Great that he sent a catch report over. Really happy with that one. And yeah, here we go, here's a few more as well. Had to be included, had to make the news. And look at that. And lastly, we have got Mr. Sam Noah with another big old PB, 70-odd pounder. Well done to all those guys, and of course, yes, you can get your foreign captures over, whether you're from the UK or not, keep them coming in. And that's it for this month's Super 6. Well done to all, and like I said, if you haven't featured in this section, stick around to the end of the show, as every carp caught and sent in to us will be shown. Thank you very much for all the recent catch reports that have been sent in so far. And if you're looking to get yours over, it couldn't be easier. All you have to do is save this phone number that is on screen now and then send it a thumbs up via WhatsApp, and you'll automatically receive a blank catch report form. Then you can just copy and paste it into a message back to me and fill in the relevant information. This can be as much or as little as you want. Sometimes you might not want to disclose the location or your age, ladies. Look, I get it, that's 100% fine, but there is always a great story behind every capture, just like tonight's winners, and I definitely want to hear yours. And lastly is of course the weather, where there's some crazy guy over there to report it. Now, the weather is something very important, of course. This is what's going to decide what them fish get up to. And yep, they did want to dress me up in drag, but I said no, so over to me. Welcome to this month's Weather Watch. The long range forecast for England is looking pretty good from a fishing front. Plenty of sun and warm days and a nice warm southerly wind for the early part of May. However, that is due to change from around midway, and we've got some cold winds and quite a bit of rain coming. But I see that as a positive after all that heat, because it might just put them off from spawning too early and not having to spawn twice, which they seem to do a lot more these days. A couple of key dates to keep an eye out for all those moon followers are the 13th for the full moon and the 27th for the new moon. This is great news for me as well, because they're both falling midweek and the last couple have been at weekend. So yeah, you better get your annual leave in if you're a weekend angler. But just to round up, mostly bright and sunny early on in the month and some colder weather and showers coming later down the line. Now we can't leave out the Scottish. Up in Scotland, let's have a quick look what's going on. And yes, of course, it's snowing as always. Now, back to Scott in the studio. And that is all we've got time for on this month's show. I hope you have enjoyed it. I've definitely enjoyed doing it. And thanks very much to everyone that sent in their catch reports. You know, I reached out on social media for catch reports and people didn't really know what they were sending them into. So yeah, I massively appreciate that. This is the first episode. Hopefully I've got loads of great ideas to add into it, so it's only gonna get better. If you are getting out fishing, be lucky, but remember, it's not all about catching. That's a bonus. Just enjoy being out.